Today, we'll be looking at how to insert data and also read data. You could remember that in our last class, we also saw how to create a model and controller. So let's get started. So this is my file, my Laravel file from the last class. If you have not watched my previous video, please endeavor to watch the part 1 of this video so that you follow along. So in my users table, I have this, which I've migrated from my previous class. So the main aim is to insert data and also read data from it. So first and foremost, I will go to my model. Like I said, I'm using the user model, which came by default. And in my model, I have the name, email, password, and photo. And also, let me take you to the database. This is my database for the users. I'm also having the name, email, verified password, and photo. In this scenario, I'll be using 4-column field. That is what I'll be using, and that is what you are currently seeing in my user model. So without wasting much time, let's start coding. So I will go to my welcome screen. The welcome screen, you can find out in the resources, views, and you see your welcome.blade.php. This welcome.blade.php is what you are currently seeing here. This is my welcome.blade.php. So I need to remove everything so that I can just create a form for this purpose. So I'll remove everything here. So I'll say Control A. Control A. So let me generate a boilerplate here and just say hello world so you can see there's going to change on the screen. Hello world. I'll save this and go to the browser and refresh this. So you can see it has changed to hello world. So I want to create a simple form. Let me go to Bootstrap and get the Bootstrap form to use for this purpose. So first and foremost, let me get the CDN. I'll just copy this and paste it somewhere here. Okay. Let me reduce my terminal so that you can see this full screen. Okay, good. So yeah, I look for form. Let me go get a form, a simple form. Okay, I think this is okay. So let me just copy this and come to this page so I can come here and say registration form. For this registration form. Registration form. So yeah, I can put here the div container, div class as container. And I come here and I already have a form for me. I have a form already. Okay, so let me save this and see how this form look like. But before saving, let me make it to be just come and cut this form and use a bootstrap form. Okay, so within this form, I'll come here and put, let me just cut this form or cut it. Escape it. Okay, so I want to put a row. I want to put a row first, a div class of row, a div class of row, a div class of row. So I want this to be row, and I come here. I just come here and put, oh, why is this guy disturbing me? Undo that, escape it. So I'll come here and I'll put a div class of core. Let me say a div class of core MD. I've got MD8 and use MD8. Justify content center. Justify content center as my. So yeah, I'll paste my form here and explain to you. This is the Laravel form. So let me take the form that is coming here by default. So I don't need the routes here for now. I just want to see how this form look like before I start coding proper. So let me take this route. I don't have a route here, so let me take that out. So I'll save this and let's see how this form will look like. That is the main purpose before we proceed. So I'll go to my and refresh this. So you can see we have a form here. You didn't go to we have a form here. I don't know if you can see the form. There's a form here. So this is not a design class, it's a Laravel class. So I'm not interested with the design. So I take this justified content off here. I should be able to put that in the row so that it can be at the center. Let me see, it's going to be at the center. Okay, yes, it went to the center. So let me come here and put the class as text center for each one. Save this. Let me save this. Okay, so I have my form at the center of it all. So I have this. So let me now explain what I'm actually doing here. Now look at this form. I have inside my bootstrap, I have a setting form here, which is what you're seeing on the screen. Now in Laravel, when you're building a form, make sure you pass in the CSRF. I've talked about that in my file upload. Please do endeavor to watch my file image upload. And CSRF is for cross-site forgery attack. So if you don't do that, your information may be stolen by the bad guys. And if you are uploading an image in Laravel, it's advisable. It's a must, not even advisable. It's a must to use the enc type as equal to multipath/for/form data. If not, it won't work. Your file upload will not work. And each of my form here, I have an important thing I want to show you. I have the name. Make sure the name is the same name you use in your database. Very, very crucial. This name, email. Make sure it's what you use in your database. And I have the email as email, the password as password, and I have the name as photo. So I want to keep these videos very simple, and I have a button here called just a button called submit. So like I said, I want to keep this very, very simple so that you get to understand this. So what I want to do here, the next I want to do here is to create a route. I want to create a route. In Laravel, to create routes, you go to the route folder, web.php. Now route is about navigation. So yeah, I want to create a route that will navigate us to where this will be processed. Let me close this so that you can see that clearly. So where this form will be processed. So I'll come here, I put a route. I'll come here and put a route. So I'll call this users.store. You can call it anything you want to call it actually. Now what that actually does is to take you to the place where this form will be processed. And the name of that place is called the users.store. That's the name of that place. And so that will lead me to my routes. So in the web.php, I will come here and I'll create my routes here. So I'll say routes. Because this is a post method, I will come here and put a post method. Post method here, I will come here and I'll do this. So I'll just come here and say users or user store. Let me say user store. Yeah, so let me keep it simple. User store. So what I've just done here is I've created the route. It's a post method. This is the path. Now I don't want to use this kind of controller. I want to use controller I love using more an array. I'll call this because name of my controller is this is my controller. I've not created a controller yet. I don't think I've created one. So let me create one. That is what I'm supposed to have done since. Let me take this out and create a controller. I've not created a controller, so that is the first thing you're going to do. Apologies. So I'll come here and create a controller. Here I'll set up a new terminal so that I won't terminate the server. So yeah, I'll come here and create a controller. So let me seed into my app and I'll come here to create a controller. So to create a controller is very simple. You say PHP artisan make, then column. You put your column. I'm going to spell of make, then controller. Then I want to give this a controller. I'll call this user controller. I'll call it any name you want to call it, user controller, and you press enter. So once you press enter, it will create a controller which you're going to see inside your controllers folder, http://controller. And if you click it, you see that I have a user controller. This is my user controller that I've just created. I hope that is clear enough. So yeah, I'll come here and put my route. say routes, the get method. So here I'll say post / put my / and I'll come here and I'll say user.store. I'll come here, put a comma, square bracket here. I'll call my controller user controller. It has to be imported actually. So I think that's better. So you can see it has been imported, user controller. This is a class. So let me minimize this. So I've just created a route, which is a post method. And this post method is coming from our form. This method called post. So yeah, now that I've created my route, I have to define the method. This is a method actually. This method is what you're going to declare or define inside your user controller class. So yeah, I can just come here and go to my user controller, the one I just created, then I'll create a class that will help me to store this. So I'll say public. Thank you very much. I think this guy have done justice to it. But it's not what I want. I want the file upload also. I don't think I need all these things. I don't think I need this. Let me take it off. My extension is just doing more than it can do. So let me come here and say public function store. How to pass in the request, then request method and the request parameter. Okay, so I'll put this. So this is my request method. So what I've just done is to create a method. This method is what you see here. This method here is what I've just created here using the function. It's just a function that takes in some parameter, and this parameter is not just a parameter, it's a class, request class. It's a request class from Laravel. So now the next thing I want to do is to validate our request. This is my request. Remember, in our form, if you go to your form, you see you have name, you have email, you have password, you have photo. These are your requests. So yeah, I will come here and validate that. I'll say request validation. Request validates. So yeah, I'll pass in the square brackets, an array of validations actually. So let me just come here and just start this. I don't need this yet, so I don't know why my extension is giving me suggestion. I'll take that out. So yeah, I have the validation. Now I want to just make it simple. If I want the name to be required, the email to be required, and also to be an email field. The password, I want the password to be required, and the minimum should be, let me make the minimum to be 3. Don't waste much time. Minimum to be 3. And I also want the photo. Remember that we have a field, an input field called photo here. Because the input field called photo. So I also want it to be validated. So here I'll come here and I'll say photo. Now I don't want it. Okay, let me just say required or nullable. Anyone. Let me just keep it simple. Let me say nullable. Nullable means it's optional. That's meaning of nullable. It's optional. So I want it to be an image. I want it to take any of this extension: JPEG, PNG, JPG, GL, and the rest. And I want the size to be 2 MB, maximum 2 MB. That's what I've just done. This is called validation. So the next thing I want to do is to upload the photo. Now the aim of uploading the photo is to put the photo into a separate folder and the main URL into your database. So here I'll come here and comment this as upload photo. Upload photo. So how do you upload photo? First, I will check if that field, if the user have uploaded a photo. So here I'll come here. So let me even come here and just show you what I'm doing here. So let me just come here and just close this up and show you what I'm practically doing. So let me take this out. So I don't need this. Now, what this upload photo code you see here is doing is the first thing. On line 19 is checking if a user has uploaded a photo, that is as a file, if they've uploaded a photo or not. Then at this point here on line 20 is what is taking the photo, that's what the user uploaded, is taking the file. Then it's called request file for a file. So it's taking the photo and storing it into a variable called photo. Now on line 21, it's taking it's getting the extension. Remember that photos have a lot of extensions. Some are JPG, JPEG, PNG. It's taking the extension and it wants it to be unique. So it's what concatenating it with a time so that each photo will be unique. That's what I'm doing on line 21. Now after doing this, I need to save the photo into a public path. And that public path here is called photo. So let me even change it to upload. I don't want photo. Let me change it to upload instead of photo. Now, this means that when a photo is uploaded, it goes to this folder called uploads. That is what I've just basically done here. So the next thing I want to do here is to save my field into the database. So here I'll come here and I'll say save to database, save user data to database. So here I'll come here and I will use the word user. The name of my model. Remember the name of my model is user. So I have to import it. It has to be imported. Now let me show you where I imported it. You can see user model. It has to be imported because remember I told you that the model is where you put your field. This is a model here. Remember this is a model, user model that I'm using. It's where you put all your fields. And remember in our last class we created a model and a migration. So please watch the part 1 video of this so that you get to understand what we're doing. So I need to save user data into the database. So I call the model and there's a method called create. You can also use insert. Create will help you to create the user details into the database. So the first one is the name, the requested name. This is the requested name. The email, requested email. And please, for the opt-in time, make sure this tallies with what you have in your database, please. Name, email, password. I'm using the bcrypt because I want to encrypt the password. So the photo, if the photo name is set, then give me the photo name. The photo name is gotten from, I don't even need to use, it's gotten from this place, from this conditional statement. So I put the name of the photo. If the photo is set, then I put the name of the photo. Else, I'll just put none in my database. So after doing this, I need to what? Show a message, an error message or a success message. So I'll come here and say, if everything works well, I will just redirect back and create a message, success message precisely, user created successfully. That is what I will do. So let me close this. So after doing this now, we need to what? Test this. But before we test, let me go back to my welcome.blade.php. I need to put the message, the error message or the success message somewhere at the top. Let me come here and put it somewhere here. So here I will come here and put a message. I'll say if it's successful, if everything works well. I'll come here and say if session. Let me say if session is, let me come here and say session variable. If session, what's the spelling of session? If session is success, that means if it is successful, then what should I do? If it is successful, then what should I do? I should just make it simple and just do this. That means if it is successful, should just show me a message that, oh, truly it is successful. What if there's an error message? So what if there's an error? So what if an error occurs? So I'll say if, the same thing I've just done, sorry, if. So if there's any error, so if there's any error, I'll come and say if any error exists. That means if there's any error, so what should I do? Also do the needful and alert danger if there's any error. So that's what I'll basically do. So let me format this. And so what I'll do now, go back to your controller. Remember that I created a folder called, I referenced a folder called upload. So I didn't have to create that folder into my public path. And where's my public path? Let me show you my public path. My public path is in, this is a public path here. This is public. So inside here, I'm going to create a folder, an empty folder. I'll call it upload. Upload. So that is the folder I've just created. So let me save this, save all, and go test it and see if everything works well. So let me check my server is on. Yeah, my server is on. So I'll go back to my and refresh this so that we can test this. Why is it taking time to load in my input structure? So let me just put a name. Let me come here and put alabi, email alabi@gmail.com. Oh, I have an error message. Variable session. Oh, that's true. There's not supposed to be a dollar string, a dollar sign there. So I'll go back to my controller and remove that. Sorry, in my welcome.php, then I'll remove it. I made a mistake there. Session is not supposed to have a dollar sign. So that's true. I have to save this again and remove it somewhere here too. That was a mistake. So I think that was, so let me save that and let's refresh the browser again. Oh, the same thing with the error. I didn't see that. I see my glasses. So I'll remove the dollar sign from the error message and replace it with this session. I remove this. I don't think I need that. So let me save this. I think this should work. So let me save this and refresh the browser. Okay. It's still giving me an error message. Exception. Why exception? Is my condition all right? On what line? If error, if there's any error. Okay, it's complaining about my error. So if there's any error, take this out also. Session. Okay, if there's error session, okay, that's the right thing. Okay, let me save this. And hopefully I don't get this error again. Okay, good. So let us try this. I'll put alabi and put alabi@gmail.com. At gmail.com. The password 1 2 3 4 5 6. So let me upload an image. Come here and also upload an image. So I click on submit. Fantastic. You can see that user created successfully. So let's go to our database to see if it has been created successfully. So this is our database table. So when I refresh this, fantastic. You can see that name alabi, email alabi@gmail.com. You can see the password is encrypted. You can see the photo that I uploaded. So let's go see the photo from our project. See, you can see the photo here that I uploaded. So if I click it, you can see this, the photo we just uploaded. You can see perfectly we are doing the right thing. So the next thing now we need to do is to read the data. Let me upload one more user. So yeah, I'll come here and upload Ernest. I'll put my email, Ernest 1 2 3 4 5 6. Upload. So yeah, I'll upload the file. So yeah, I'll come here and give the picture. So I come here and just upload this picture and save it. Fantastic. So let me go back to my database and refresh this. Beautiful. You can see I have two details here.